Resonate with me. They're very strong in a variety of departments, especially that drafting. I think their team drafts are pretty solid. They give a lot of front to back for their team, and that's usually how they try and play their team fights as well. And it can give you a lot of hindsight into the best possibility of actually winning the game for your team. Confidence definitely excels through the squad as well. Seen numerous highlight plays this season, regardless of their opposition, whether they're losing significantly or whether they're pushing on and they're really taking over the game. It's just about perfecting that formula and narrowing down what you're actually playing for. Draft front to back, fight front to back, right? Make the enemy team play into your win condition. And I definitely think these guys have that in themselves.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 3 of this quarterfinals bout between Team Washed and Team Ah. Joined with me is my AD carry, Mr. Escape from Reality.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit silly at the moment. I'll be real. I think that Wash is feeling a little bit sillier though. They're at a really big deficit right now. Ah has showed up to play, and they have played really well so far. They've had some close games so far. Very tight, very narrow. Gold leads were not really. It wasn't any like big snowballs into an end. But they've been able to pull stuff back so far, and they need to keep that momentum.
Yeah, and Washers completely pivoted their draft strategy, and you can see it in the bans. They were banning 3 different champions, and they were banning coming into the day. So we're going to have to see if that's what makes the difference, as well as this blue one Poppy is surprising to me. It's not a champion that we've really seen much priority on so far in this series, and it is a flex between 2 and potentially 3 roles. So it's viable, but it's a little confusing to me.
Yeah, generally you see Poppy used as a counter pick, right? They have dashes on their team. They have something we want to shut down. We're going to bring Poppy. She's really good for closing down team fights, making sure that there's not much backline access, which might be what Wash is planning on already, is they're just going to grab that Poppy before there's any possibility of a ban or anything like that. We don't want to show too much, but they're going to play towards a backline with the Erebus, which is a very classic style. On the other side, though, MXL immediately picking up that Jinx. It's a really good, safe option.
Oh, no way!
Right into the Bel'Veth. We're going to have some Loach time this game.
Oh, it's Loach time, ladies and gentlemen. I have been so impressed this series by Red, by the way. He's been very accomplished in many roles in FFS past. Bot lane, mid lane, top lane, and now being asked in Oz time of need to go into that jungle has performed very well so far. And on champions that are unorthodox, I almost think he's been getting his jungle coaching from Leaves with the champions that he's picking. Yeah. And I'm excited to see how Team A coordinates around Bel'Veth's power with the Rift Herald.
A is just looking for scaling. It looks like Wash is willing to match with that Twitch Lulu picked up. That is the quintessential we want to survive lane and kill you in the team fight strat. Meanwhile, Red picking up that Bel'Veth, obviously a lot of scaling potential. She doesn't team fight perfectly, but she plays really good cleanup. It could be difficult to work around that Twitch, but Jaffe the Gangplank. He's here! And they're banning off that Malphite to make sure that Gangplank is going to be able to survive that laning phase and take away any backline access to get towards this GP and this Jinx. We're going to be those main damage characters coming out from AAA. I really want to see them pick up some sort of front line, stay in front, force Wash to walk into them, and then that's when GP and Jinx can be really strong.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned for Oz composition for what they're going to have in their support, because they really need maybe a meatball or two in terms of those stats. Otherwise, Twitch is going to get immense value out of those AoE auto attacks. So I'm looking for Rare Atom. Leaning towards the Renata Glask, and I think that synergizes really well with what they've drafted. And that is what they're going to lock in. So Team A probably opting into not having any big main source of frontline, and that does make the game a little harder for Belveth.
Yeah, this is a really big ego drive coming out right now from AAA, because there's no way they're going to grab some sort of tankiness in the mid lane, even if it is a Galio or something. That's not what this team needs. They need more than that. And I think Rare Atom really was pushed into a corner here with champion select. I really think that Thresh would have been the best option, but Thresh is so hard to pilot right now. Meanwhile, not hard to pilot. Aatrox, Anivia. Those are two champions that walk into their laning phase. They're able to do whatever they want. That is a bully in the top lane, safety in the mid lane. It's going to be really hard for Katarina to grab something to really counterpick that. And I think that Wash has drafted themselves safety and comfort, which is exactly what you need when you're down 2-0.
I really like the Malzahar as well as the final pick out of Team A. I think it does help to round out the composition. If you're not going to pick tanky frontline, you pick something that provides safety and shuts down the enemy team, gives your team the magic damage that you need. Now, I've experienced Pure Llama's Anivia. Very scary on this champion. Definitely a proficient Anivia player. Little surprised to see it blind, but I think that's a call out on the Katarina's champion pool, and we're just going to have to see how that plays out as we get onto the Rift.
Yeah, no, I think that mid lane could be pivotal right now. Just looking at how those two were playing so far, Katarina has kind of been a sudden addition to this team as far as AW goes, but it's been so important for them to have somebody in mid lane who feels confident, feels comfortable, and they've been able to do that so far. They've had some really good pickups. It's been really, really strong. So, like you say, toppling Pure Llama is a difficult thing to do. It's an electrocute on that Anivia, so it's looking to go aggressive, no sort of like passive pokey style. That is an Anivia that wants to get you killed. And you know what? The mixture of the Anivia wall and the Poppy ganks from Godx Anime could spell disaster.
Oh,
and carefully.
I didn't even think of that. That is nasty. I'm starting to see the picture that Wash was painting when they put that together. Erebus's Twitch has gotten some notoriety. It's a very strong pick that puts his team in very strong positions, and RLS ban it into Wash every game because we're traumatized. So to get it here now, on the brink of elimination, where Wash needs a full sweep to make it happen, these are the kind of picks that I want to see them go to. Also, I am PJ Salt in the top lane on the Aatrox. Anyone who's been watching Worlds knows how strong this champion is. It's part of PJ Salt's bread and butter, and it's a pretty good matchup in the Gangplank.
Yeah, no, Aatrox has been stupid. Way too much healing on that champ, way too much damage. Just can be in team fights wherever you want, and it doesn't really matter. You can put him down 0-5. Still shows up in team fights, still shows up in side lanes. Wherever you need him, he can be there. I am a little bit nervous for what the potential of this game is, because I really feel like this is game 3 right now of a best of 5. The only way that this series actually ends is if Oz able to pick it up, which they're totally capable of doing. They've got some good team composition. If they get ahead, this can be suffocating. But I actually feel like this game could also be a series ender for Wash, because if they're able to pick up this win, Oz, a team that's mental, has struggled throughout this season so far. It's how they ended up here. It's how they ended up basically all their games. They're not really good at recovering. They've been strong so far because they've been able to turn back these gold leads, and they might feel like they're kind of on top of the world at the moment. I feel like if that gets to be crumpled down by Wash, they might be able to turn this around. Like you say, the comfort, exactly what you need at this point. I think that Wash needs to be proactive. They need to make AAA uncomfortable. And if they can do that, and if they can extend it, this series could get very interesting.
And that's where I'm looking to this Poppy pick. Wash has opted into being blue side all series long. You see a little scuffle go down to bot lane. Erebus is going to walk for it, but I don't think too much is going to come from that. We've seen Wash all series on blue side. And normally, when you're down to 2 games, you try and switch it up. Loser does get to select which side they play. Wash elects to go blue side again. And this time, the Poppy is what they targeted as their very first pick. So I'm very eager to see what GodX Anime is going to do on a pick that does have a lot of early game potential to make stuff happen as we see him walk up over to that top lane.
Yeah, nice potential for a gank here. Obviously, Jaffe's a good place to prey on. They're not aware that Red is up there on the clear right now. Very low HP on that Belveth, so it does leave room for Godix Anime to maybe catch him on the rotation. He's going to look towards Crab, but here comes the gank at the top lane.
Steadfast presence with the moves speed, going to knock them back, getting knocked up so many times by PJ. Jaffe flashes over the Darkened Blade and is barely going to survive that one. Very good from Team Wash to pick up that flash. Very good from Jaffe to survive, but he might not be out just yet. But Darkened Blade on a very high cooldown at level 1, so PJ not able to catch that out that positioning.
Yeah, Red's going to get spotted out, moving towards that top lane. Obviously did pick up that Scuttle Crab, so that's a decent amount of CS that he's able to put in his pocket. He's just going to chill out in that top lane, protect Jaffe. I was a little bit worried that Jaffe wasn't going to burn the flash there. Waited a long time on it, but used it at a good time, was able to get out. No flash follow from PJ, no ignite burnt. So it is overall a win there for Godix Anime and PJ Salt on the side of Wash. If that Poppy can start to catch back up and see us, a bit of a failed gank right there for Red, so time wasted. That could have been bot Crab.
Yeah, but look at where Godix Anime is. Just trying to follow it up immediately and is going to get seen. So Red knows that he has to get out of dodge, is going to be able to do that. And now Poppy is falling really behind on these camp timers. It's not too dire, but there's definitely a Scuttle Crab and a Croix camp that could have been picked up in that time frame while you're waiting for these camps to respawn. At the same, and Belveth is starting to grow that CS lead, but that's what you would expect from this. So I think both sides are pretty happy with how this early game has gone so far.
Yeah, nothing too far like unaccording to plan. I think that there's going to be room here for obviously that Crab to get picked up. Godix Anime should get the ball back rolling again. This pressure in the top lane.
PJ Salt fighting so much damage onto Jaffe. I love the restraint to not burn the ignite there. Knows his champion's damage ranges. If it were me up there, I probably would have popped the ignite and not gotten the kill, and then I would be out that summoner spell. But that's why I don't play top lane.
I don't know, man. You got the flash available there. You got the ignite. I feel like maybe that's a little bit of restraint from PJ. A little bit nervous. I think you have to go for those plays. You know that they're going to try and get Jaffe ahead. He's been such a monster all season. He's been a monster for multiple seasons. We know his GP is scary. Maybe you got to give yourself that momentum to start things off early. Right now, he's going to come back to lane with that Sheen, so now that GP is getting closer to those item pickups. So far, it's been a little bit weird from Wash that they've been weak-siding this bot lane, but that might be about to change. Yet to pull off a back for any of these bot laners. Godix Anime hasn't backed yet. Red is on this bot side, but is pathing upwards, and maybe this is going to be a chance for a kill right now for Godix Anime. Still has that flash.
Yeah, about to be spotted on the ward as soon as he walks into the river, playing that range very well. They're going to see him now, trying to get in. Erebus is forward and does find the slow. Godix Anime sends Red straight to the wall, and Erebus picks up first blood.
Very good play there from Wash, and more in the top.
PJ Salt is deep in the minion wave, finding a lot of damage, but the Darkened Blade's now on cooldown, taking a lot of residual damage for the minions of Trial by Fire, means it's a very slightly Jaffe-favored trade, as those Corrupting Pots are in inventory. 2 stacks left. Is probably, especially with the level advantage, that PJ Salt is going to be the one actually on the back foot here, but that's okay, because you got a kill where you needed it most on the Twitch that has been left alone so far this game. Erebus now in a position to make some damage happen.
Yeah, it's going to give him the recall advantage in the spot lane. He can start to pressure effectively, and that Jinx so far has been a lane bully, has that range advantage, has the wave clear up on the Twitch. Ooh, and maybe catch here on Red. There's the TP coming in from mid.
Yeah, Godix Anime looking to punish this, and Pure Llama it's tough to get out of the lane here. Yeah, rotation from top lane as well. UV Red is going to flash out. Pure Llama, though, does find a stun. Walls in Red! And let's see who they want to give it over to. They are going to give it over to the Poppy. Godix Anime going to pick that one up. Big assist on Pure Llama. That wall was nasty.
What are you doing there? Red gets caught out, has to burn flash Qs directly into a beautifully placed Q there from Pure Llama. Grabs that stun. The wall was there, like you said. Assists across the board. Kill goes to Godix Anime. He's going to be able to move that around. Now get more pressure on that top side. Jaffe has to recall. That is a disaster play for Awe in an early game that hasn't favored them so far. Maybe getting a little bit antsy, a little bit too ahead of themselves. You guys haven't won yet. You got to keep pushing.
Yeah, and in both games so far, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in both games so far, Awe have taken a fairly dominant early game lead, and now it is Wash's turn in the driver's seat. They've got those 2 early kills, one on the Poppy, one on the Twitch, in pretty good spots to make things happen, and now they got to transition that throughout the game. Now, in game 1, there was a point where Wash did have a pretty significant lead over AAA, and they weren't able to convert it into a victory, so I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to do that this time.
It's Small gold lead right now, only 1k at the 8-minute mark. Obviously, this is not detrimental. Oz doing a really good job of not bleeding too much, but the opportunity for that could start to roll in very soon. This is Boots finished up right now. Red's going to try and go in. That's going to go over to Wash.
Gets polymorphed and is already chunked out. The damage reduction's gone, and Red's going to go down again. Spray and pray is through. Katarina trying to find in an angle on the fight, but no opportunity to get that Nether Grasp down in any meaningful way. MXL is going to try and find an angle for the Super Mega Death Rocket. And if you ever watched Wild Turtle, you know that ability is very good at taking objectives, but it's down really early. It is going to chunk out Wednesday, but that gives MXL the confidence to go forward and start free firing. The health bars are dropping. Goddess Anime is going to secure the Drake, but has no flash. Is not going to be able to get out. Using the kills, is going to send them home. But Goddess Anime might not be out of this yet. Hasn't left the pit yet. And Malzahar has arrived. It's a little scary. X-Flash is through, and Godex Anime escapes certain death with some creative thinking. Oh my goodness.
Careless play again from Red. I don't know why he stayed there. He knows that his team isn't rotating fast enough. He can see more members of Wash. I don't know why he overstayed there. It cost his team the dragon, cost his team the kill. I don't know how Godex Anime was allowed to get out of that pit alive. The Hex Flash barely comes up when the recall's being channeled there. Gets him out alive. That's dragon. More early game presence there from Wash. And if they can keep this going, this can be really, really strong for the mental. Get you back up and rolling. Like I say, maybe this game can go a little bit further, but they need to keep this lead. They can't throw it away, and they've been caught with their pants down a few times so far this series, so it's going to be important to stay in the driver's seat for Wash.
Yeah, lead is far from insurmountable at this point. 1,500 at 10 minutes is certainly a good early game and how you want it to go, but it is nowhere near dominant, and Wash definitely have their work cut out for them to convert this. That being said, great start for them.
So it's all you could ask for right now in Red, trying to find something maybe on this top lane, but he's going to go over that control ward, and I think PJ's going to have more than enough time to get out of there. Does have that flash available, so nothing's going to happen there. And this could be the rotation towards Rift Herald right now as the recall's coming in for the Malzahar. Here comes the gank, though.
PJ is chunked. Red is going to look for an angle. Immediate flash. Great respect from PJ. Not even going to risk it. But now Godex Anime is here. Going to stop the dash immediately. Looking for an angle to pin Red to a wall. Doesn't quite find it. Knocks him away from teammates. But Red is taken so low and is forced to run away from the tower. The red buff is going to burn them out. And it is not a good day for UB's top laner.
Yeah, that MVP vote was far from a red buff. He is not looking comfortable this game on this Bel'Veth. He's trying to go for these ganks. Really, Bel'Veth just needs to be farming, getting herself in control, and she's throwing it right now in the top side now twice. That is the Rift Herald that's surely going to go over to Wash now. And that's all you could ask for is Wash. That's going to be able to take some pressure away from Bel'Veth. Yeah, Red's going to walk to this bot side and just give it over. So if Wash wants it, they get it.
Yeah, a lot of the power of Bel'Veth is on that Herald, and actually Wash are going to decide to not take it. And the reason that they do that is the minions in the mid wave. Pure Llama did not want to drop that wave. The Rift Herald was going to take too long, prioritizing that gold flow and, proper base timings over the Herald. Hard to say if that's the right play, but I understand why they go for it, and we're going to have to see if AAA are able to take the Rift Herald. Wash going to be kicking themselves for that decision.
Yeah, it looks like PJ's going to start it up, though. The rotate's there from 3. So, yeah, no, it looks like they were just waiting for PJ to get back to lane, waiting for Pure Llama to get himself comfortable in mid lane. They are going to take it now. Bel'Veth is on this bot side, but they don't know that right now for Wash.
Erebus is being charged flash forward from Rare Adam. Hostile takeover only finds Wednesday, and now Red's in the play, but there's no play left. The spray and pray has been popped, and Erebus, which such a distinct range advantage, is going to force AAA away from the play and Wash negate yet another one of Red's attempts.
Oh, yeah, mid lane's in so much trouble now. Katarina made the way down towards that bot lane to try and help out, but, it's a flash trade for the support versus the ADC, so it should be good. They're going to be able to get out of here, though. They don't want to.
Poppy and Anivia are so good at controlling zones and preventing champion movement, and they just completely stifle any attempt of AAA to stop that play. That being said, they do get the Malzahar in place to take out the Rift Herald, but that was a 3-4 plate swing. That's pretty major.
Yeah, and even with all these heroics, it's not a massive gold lead right now. Obviously, they did get that Herald down the mid lane that's going to be able to open themselves up. Hold on.
PJ going forward, chunking out Jaffe, but everything on cooldown now, and both HP bars are the same. Oh, PJ getting chucked by a barrel. Oh my gosh, will he live the Gangplank guard? He does for now. Trying to get out of there with that World Ender, and Jaffe's not going to be able to close the gap. PJ getting out on the skin of his teeth. Jaffe not quite in Flash Parlay range. Very, very close to going bad for the Wash top laner.
Jeez, and again, PJ's going to get caught out by Jaffe. Jaffe is so good at this Gangplank. Shown it time and time again. There was the Conqueror proc there. Jaffe doesn't burn any suns. That was just trading in lane. And working around First Strike is a lot harder in top lane than working around Conqueror. You just continue to take that trade, burn that First Strike whenever you need be, and you can start to play for those trades. GP should be struggling in this lane right now. CS lead hasn't died, hasn't dropped a single plate so far. It is looking really good for Jaffe, and this could be a moment where Wash needs to look at the game and say, hey, we need to try and get everyone else ahead because PJ is struggling in this top lane. We need to get him back in via team fights.
Yeah, and what strikes me about that play is that PJ Salt was the one who initiated that play, but if you look at the items that were in the inventory, Jaffe had a full Essence Reaver. Oh, MXL! Super Mega Death Rocket picks it up! No words. This is blind, and there's 4 people there. MXL just omniscient to find that one. And yeah, that's crazy. What a play.
No vision at all. There was no smite left from Poppy, unable to block it. They're going to try and find something back in the mid lane, but there's going to be nothing there. That is such a momentum swing. That's so important because instead of looking at Soul Point in 5 minutes, it's one apiece. They're both even on these dragons right now, and that bot prio that's been so important in this game kind of disappears. Now the dragon goes back. This Jinx is almost to the point of being even. She's not that far behind in her items at the moment. Oh, but she might be about to be.
Oh, they're finding a flank. Erebus opens up spray and pray. Hostile takeover goes wide, but the handshake doesn't. MXL trying to find an angle out of there, and AAA are going to manage to disengage that with Red approaching the play.
Oh,
now,
the flank.
Red is looking for the play. No cooldowns from the side of Team Wash except for that Wild Growth and the Ignite. Not going to result in much, and continued lack of jungle success for this Bel'Veth.
Yeah, hasn't been able to get ahead right now. Is losing the red buff. It's really rough for Red so far this game. It was a good attempt there from Erebus, but they're unable to burn anything past the Jinx Flash Ghost, which is obviously good. They can set themselves up for a gank later as those Twitch summoners come off cooldown.
Look at where Godix Anime is right now.
Yeah, just taking everything from topside. It's really rough for Red, like you were talking about. There's been no success coming out of this Bel'Veth so far. If Godix Anime can start to move this towards the bot side, things could get really scary because we know how terrifying Twitch is. He gets a free BF sword in a bit in the late game.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying champion for sure. One thing I wanted to mention about that Drake swing, I think it makes the top lane matchup matter a lot more. The start of the game, Wash were dominating the bot side control and able to pick, if they were able to pick up those first 2 Drakes, it puts a lot of pressure on Jaffe to be at every dragon for the rest of the game. But now that it's split, Jaffe is more than happy to wait, and Red, once again in the jungle, is going to smite away the red buff, but is pinned to the wall. Godx Anime on top of him, Keeper's Verdict sends him up in the air, using that steadfast presence to try and prevent the dashes out from UB Red, who's slowly being chunked down. There's no red buff to burn, but Pure Llama's there to slow, and Red is going to get escorted out with a flash, plus play from Renata. I mean, you got the red, buddy. Good job.
Oh yeah, no. Red goes over to Red. Flashes get traded. The only thing that is able to survive there is the Red of AAA, able to get out of there on the Bel'Veth. And I don't know, like Flash trade's pretty good there. It's really risky though because Poppy can function without that Flash. It looks like Godix Anime may be trying to set up for something in the spot lane. I think going for a dive down there is completely viable.
Pure Llama. Forcing out the Malzahar's Flash just with some nifty placing of spells. Nasty on the Anivia. Now, we haven't gotten to the point where Anivia really shines yet, but we already seen the Priscilla's player, Rare Adam, almost hitting that handshake. That would have been devastating.
Yeah, there's definitely room for Rare Adam to make things happen in the spot lane still. The deficit is not massive. I think that MXL sitting on a lot of gold. Right. Red, once again, just caught 1v3.
Yeah, Red is going to pick it up. The ultimate from Gangplank is going to come out to try and deter. PJ flashes forward to try and find something, but does it, and the Nether Grasp finds Godex Anime, and that shutdown is huge for AA. Red gets the reset. Katarina's trying to whip out, though, and Red just doesn't do that much, though. Rare Atom, approaching a Plato is going to force them away, and it is going to be 1-for-1. They do knock Anivia into the egg. They're going to handshake to try and pull her closer, but it doesn't come through, and that means now Rare Atom's the one in trouble. Big wall from Anivia, and PJ is in the right spot at the right time.
PJ made that fight matter. It was the only reason it looked close, that Aatrox initially whiffing on the engage, but was able to turn into a lot more because Aatrox does dumb amounts of damage, even if he's really far behind. That's going to be the turret picked up that should give room for Wash to move towards that dragon. And what initially was a bit of a bronze chase from Wash, they were able to turn it into something really beneficial for them, picking up 2 kills, getting some gold onto that Aatrox, finally can get him into a comfortable position for that top lane. Wash is still ahead, but the kills really don't equate to the size of the gold lead. AA is holding on so well.
And a lot of that is Jaffe, who hasn't really been able to participate in these fights so far, outside of dropping that ultimate. Yeah.
How's Anivia there? Does he get out?
Oh my... Wait,
he stays?
No, you're crazy. Abdul, you're a psycho. Finds the Glacial Storm on top of Red, but it does get canceled by the knockup, and now Fear Llama's in a lot of trouble. The wall was so good looking, but it doesn't work out. And Malzahar is here to pick it up. Oh, Fear Llama, I think he got a little too fancy there.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why Fear Llama canceled that recall. That's so greedy. That's going to be Dragon going over. That's going to be room for pressure on the bot side.
Huge brain, 100 IQ.
Yeah, I get this. Is one of those ones where you go into all chat and you just type in like, "Oh, thanks for Dragon, like dummies" or something like that, right? Like, yeah, that was questionable. The Rocket's not going to take it this time, so we're going to be okay right there. Looks like they are going to be able to pick up that Rift Herald, so we're going to finally have an opportunity for Loach time. That could be really devastating in the top lane. There's no plates available at the moment. They are going to finish that one off.
Oh, I'm so excited for Loach time. Now, Malzahar is the one who picks up the eye,
PJ.
And now the members of Wash have arrived, and the Aatrox is massive. Hostile takeover does find 4, and it fends them off for a minute, but now it's Godex Anime and Red tussling in the middle, and Godex Anime is going to go down. Red gets a reset, it's just a lot of damage, but now Red is in fight or die mode and will die. Rare Atom caught too far forward, goes down next, and now Jaffe going to have to try and run out of there. Should be able to do it with the movement speed. Pure Llama not going to find the angle. And it appears that this is not Loach time after all.
Oh, no, it hasn't been so far. It looks like just once again, Jaffe is a little bit late to the party. They're unable to really set up as Wash were fighting in a way that's really beneficial for Gangplank. They didn't have their ADC. They knew that all of Wash was missing. There was definitely room. Like, what other objective are they going to be at? So it's a little bit weird that they didn't get everyone there to be for that Rift Herald if they're going to take it. But overall, that equalizes the gold for AA. They're comfortable with that, and they can still use that Rift Herald. They can still use it to crack one of the turrets. They were able to get 2 off of that play. Jinx is still good. Starting to build up in items basically at the same point in the build that Twitch is until that Bork actually gets finished up. Not the worst there for AA. It looked a little bit disastrous, a little bit discoordinated, but Baron's on the table now. I think the next team fight can really start to shape which way this game's going to go.
I don't think Jaffe has recalled in the past 8 minutes.
No, he hasn't. He's been sitting on the double quick cloak for a long time.
I mean, I guess there's always more minions to pick up, but you got Rare Atom is going to get caught out by the spray and pray, and Arab is picking that one up. You're going to look for the blue buff, is going to steal that for good measure. Wash taking complete control of the map, but the gold lead does not reflect it.
This is where it gets dangerous, is now you have a Twitch that can submarine on your champions. You cannot be solo in the lane. Flash again.
Pure Llama with these walls is absolutely gross. Time and time again, forcing out the Malzahar's flash, making sure that Katarina never has it for the important fights.
That's now a champion that can't be in the solo lane, because if Twitch appears, that Malzahar's going to die. Doesn't matter how much ults you proc, there's going to be a Lulu in the wings that's going to keep him alive, and this Twitch is 5-0 right now, 174 CS. Definitely not a small rat. You can't just deal with this one by just, like, putting out a little trap. He's going to push out of that thing. Have you seen that commercial of the mouse doing push-ups with the mouse trap? That is what Erebus is right now. He's going to walk out of anything like that.
Yeah, that's a classic. But we also just saw how much damage one barrel does from Jaffe now that Prowler's Claw went back to base, picked up a full Prowler's Claw. What of it?
That is scary. I was talking about side lanes. You can't put anyone solo. think Jaffe might be able to deal with it right now. That is a big GP. Double crit cloak finish up. Looks like he's most likely going to be moving towards an IE with the triple crit cloak build. I'm not sure. Obviously, if you can get the IE proccing off of that, it's really, really dangerous. Obviously, not a lot of gold at the moment, but it is stagnant right now. And AAA hasn't been able to get all 5 people to a team fight just yet. So I want to know how the game changes when they can actually get everyone on board. Because, like, as we're seeing right now, 5-0 Twitch really doesn't have that big of a gold lead for being 5-0. Top lane is quite the deficit. So maybe this game is looking really even. It's just the positioning and the teeth movement from Wash that have really put AAA behind.
Yeah, all of the lead has been what Jaffe has been able to generate in the top side on this Gangplank and has looked damn good doing it this game, but hasn't been there for important team fights. That's the nature of the champion. You need time to scale up to become a monster with those barrels, and you do it by staying on the side, getting extra gold with Parlay, and picking up the Silver Serpents to amplify your ultimate. And now we're starting to arrive at that point, especially with that Infinity Edge comes through. Gangplank is going to be AAA's soul. It's going to be the heart of their team and where all the importance is at for them in these upcoming fights.
Yeah, I think that Gangplank's going to be AAA's soul. I think Wash is going to be looking for that Infernal Soul at the moment right now. 30 seconds on that. They have Aatrox moving down from the top side, obviously without TP, so that's going to leave room for Katarina to push in that top side, start to generate that pressure. They can react and play for the 5v5. It's going to be really important, I think, right now for Wash to look for a pick, because I don't know if they can take this straight up 5v5, but Red's been out of position several times, doesn't have a lot of activity. Maybe this is the pick they're going to look for. No, just going to go for the wave. I'm valid.
Sniffs that one out, gets out of there before Erebus just walks right into range. It's really tough. Twitch really complicates the game state where you're allowed to position, and Jaffe is very familiar with split pushing. Godix Anime sitting in this bush with some guerrilla warfare, but now might be caught too far forward. Is going to get chunked out. Exhaust is going to force Poppy's splash, but Erebus is here with the spray and pray forces MXL's flash, and now MXL's looking for an angle for that hostile takeover.
Oh, your wrist is low.
Oh my goodness, the hostile takeover will find 3. It's going to keep them in place, and now it's AAA turning onto the red, but MXL is chunked, and Pure Llama finds a critical shutdown on the AD carry of AAA, and Nivea going to try and be the hero of this one. So far, though, it is AAA in sole possession of that dragon. They're going to pick it up, and now both teams are going to choose to walk away after a very dramatic 1-for-1.
1-for-1, the soul picked up. The gold lead has dropped down to 300. And I don't know why Godix Anime stayed for so long. They didn't have the members there. It gets caught out in these early stages. Couldn't use the flash to get away for long enough. He just isn't tanky enough to take that burst damage. And that trade back from Pure Llama is what keeps that even. Looks like PJ might be looking for something to Jaffe right now. Down a level. Second item finished up, though. Maybe this is good.
I'm not sure you want this, PJ, but the Darkened Blades look good so far. A lot of damage, dodging out on the barrels. Does mean that Jaffe hasn't landed much damage on the PJ and is going to come out the benefactor of this trade.
All right, well played, PJ. Baron is now going to be the focus, and PJ Salt, without that teleport, taking that ignite for the laning phase, which he wasn't able to really pivot into any kills. So maybe it's gonna hurt Wash. Obviously, they don't have the side lane pressure into the teleport available. GP has the availability of being able to ult, even if that TP isn't there. So Jaffe's really comfortable to be on this bot side right now. This Baron, like I said, could decide a lot. If there's a big team fight win, that could cost. But it looks like Erebus is going to try and sniff out a solo kill on this top side if he can find it.
Yeah, the Drakes pretty much make this an even game so far, an Infernal and a little bonus on top for each team. But now, Team Wash are looking to dive the AAA bot lane on this topside tower. Godx Anime, though, is going to get found by the blue ward thrown out by MXL. And that is going to negate that play. Now, Wash have taken complete vision control, but Jaffe and PJ are going to start brawling. Jaffe flashes the Darkened Blade and is finding so much damage on a PJ who now has to run away. But Jaffe is so fearful of a rat showing up or something. I can't believe you don't
kill on
pursue
the top
that.
side. Erebus just sneaking up on MXL and burns him. That's the simplicity of this Twitch pick, is you get to submarine on people, and they don't see red on that bot side, but they know that the trade didn't go well. And I think Jaffe's backing up because he knows he needs to be available for Baron there, and he can't afford to overextend on the PJ. So Red's on the wrong side of the map right now. It looks like that Wash, they don't care whether or not Red is there. They might see him here on the minions. See if they get pinged out. I don't know if he gets seen, but they're just going to go straight for this Baron. There's only 3 people here right now. Jaffe's looking to TP in.
They did see Red coming over now, and it is 3 versus 4. Red is going to be the one to get caught out first, though. Able to disengage that Baron. Crisis averted for Team AA. Not quite able to convert the one pick into the Baron, but Team Wash are sticking around. They're looking for any chance they can get, but now everybody's back up on both teams.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be the Pink Ward and the Jinx Ward going over to the side of Wash there. There's no additional, like, they weren't able to burn a TP out of that. They weren't able to burn any sort of summoner spells. Red was able to get out of there scot-free, but it's a one trade at the end of the day that's going to give them a little bit of a nudge, try and keep them going in this game, and it's just a matter of time until either Jaffe's able to find that barrel or Erebus is able to find that clump. And one of those two things happening is going to put this game on a knife's edge for one of these two teams. But it's been so even so far. This has really been the definition of the series so far. The set count doesn't show it at all. Wash and AA have been neck and neck, and I can't imagine the intensity in those two lobbies right now. The comms, the heartbeats, you know? Like, this has been unrelentingly challenging. You get so tired after 2 games, 3 of these in a row. If this series goes to game 4 or game 5, these people are going to be on the verge of tears.
Can I talk about some crazy itemization real quick?
Go for it.
I know we just saw the collector pop up from the observers, and I am surprised to see that over the Infinity Edge. But the part that I'm wigging out over is the Turbo Chem Tank Belveth.
Yeah, I mean, go Frostfire. Like, just go Frostfire. I don't know why. I don't know why you're on Conqueror. I don't know why you go Turbo Chem Tank. Maybe they want Engage and they're trying to pull that out of the Belveth. Obviously, the Belveth has been far from strong so far this game, so trying to give her other utility is a thought. Yeah, it's gonna be Chem Tank, I guess. I don't mind Collector too much out of Jaffe, but
Watch start this up, but we're going to look at the bot side first. PJ finds so much up the dark lane. Jaffe trying to turn it around, does it? Gets taken out. Hostile takeover! Oh my goodness, the hostile takeover, the Super Mega Death Market. Almost find the Baron, but Red gets pinned to the wall, and now Erebus is free firing, and AA have to run away, and XL barely able to make it out of that one. Across the map, 4 for 1, and the Baron over to Wash, who are raring to take this to a game 4.
There it is. There's the big swing. Erebus got the ulti. Jaffe was not alive for the potential of the barrel combos, and that is Erebus cleaning up that fight. That Baron was so close. If Red was available with the flash or with Blast Cone there to try and steal, it was 600 HP, and it was hovering. Poppy was not in smite range for a good while there. That could have swung it, but the solo kill from PJ, which didn't even look close, followed up with a team fight that was a complete wipe, and now this is going to be soul point picked up, room to pressure with Baron, and this can be where the gold lead starts to spike for Wash.
Yeah, now they're going to pick up soul point, which puts them on a critical spot where now AA has to match them on really either of these two objectives is pretty devastating, and they're going to come up at almost the exact same time.
Yeah, it's going to make things interesting. That could be one team fight and then a second team fight right afterwards, depending on how things play out. But I think Wash right now have to be looking to try and pick up the standing gold. There's still 2 turrets sitting on the top side. It looks like Pure Llama is going to make the initial push up to there. They're going to keep that Aatrox on the bot side. I want to see 2 or 3 man pressure in this mid lane. Let Pure Llama get that first turret, rotate 4 up, and keep the Aatrox pressuring on the bot side. Just play this Baron buff as effectively as you can. Get the pressure as far across the map as possible. Split off Finn because you have a gold lead. And if you take an uneven fight of any kind, all is going to melt and they're going to lose at least an inhib or maybe just Katarina.
Malzahar caught out, but AA are here, and now they're turning all of their attention on to God X Anime, who's going to drop for the coordinated bush stack of AA. They coordinate, they find it, they almost get Wednesday as well. That pick does go a long way to help stabilize the state of the waves.
If the Twitch has cleansed, that's the end of the game. They are too far away from the Twitch when they show there. Twitch can just auto through and blow up the 0 tank composition that's standing in front of him, but it's the hostile takeover. They know he doesn't have that ability to strip the Berserk debuff, so they can force him away. Almost kills his support. Godix Anime gets caught way too far forward, not knowing that 5 are going to pop out. Speaking of popping out of a bush, here comes PJ.
PJ is a monster with the Darkened Blades, forcing Jaffe to flash. You know, I'm starting to think that Aatrox is a better scaling champion than Gangplank.
That was Q auto. Didn't pop Ignite, didn't land Q2, nothing. PJ almost one-shot Jaffe off of 2 hits. It just disappeared. And now that Aatrox is left alone in this top lane, and who can they send to answer him? Malzahar can't be up there, surely. He does way too much damage. Obviously, no Baron buff is going to really help them out here. But what do you do about the Aatrox now? They're going to be able to force 4v5s, and Oz composition is to such where you can't lose a single member. You can't give anyone over to deal with this Aatrox because then you're missing some key element of how your team wants to function. And PJ continues to draw Jaffe into these side lanes. Should be given the benefit. Maybe they get caught out though.
No.
Looking for the pick. Wednesday rightly decides to try and get away, and they're out.
Oh my goodness, that was so close, but Red sniffs out the play. Crazy pink ward. I would never thought they'd stick around, but that's what they're looking for. Erebus does get seen by the pink ward, and that does mean that Red and Rare Adam have just enough time to get away from that before it gets too dangerous. Rare Adam gets trapped by the wall, and he's sent to the actual death realm, and now Godex Anime is forced to leave. The Gangplank goal gets down, but Erebus is looking for an angle to turn this into lethal. The spray and pray comes out, but there's the tower. The Nether Grasp under the tower, and the barrel is going to crit Erebus out of the game. Now Godex Anime picks up the revenge kill, sends Red home, and AA are back on the defense. But what a pick to save the game.
Oh, Jaffe, 1,539 damage from that barrel. Just deletes the Twitch under turret. They tried to protect it.
Oh, it's not over. It might not be over. PJ Salt is looking for an angle, does get spotted on the ward, and now Mattel is the one on the chase. Red is the one on the chase. Even with the chem tank, not quite able to catch up to PJ, and he is going to get out of there.
The greed of Erebus is going to cost him, and that is that IE picked up from the Gangplank. Does so much damage and blows up the Twitch. Hasn't been respecting the GP because up until now he wasn't there. That was a phenomenal trade. They grab Rare Adam, they grab the TP out of Katarina. They're able to just say, okay, we can continue to pressure these side lanes, wait to play for Baron, but they get a little bit too high in their loafers. I don't remember, but they got a little bit too ahead of themselves, and Erebus goes up and tries to make a play, but doesn't respect the Malzahar. And now that's gold onto Jaffe. There's that final crit filling in that 6th slot.
Godex Anime is getting hand shook, but where's the damage? It's coming in from the Gangplank and Red and Jaffe are able to take that one out. 30 seconds before both of these objectives spawn. AA are currently positioning around the dragon. They're looking to stop Wash from getting the soul. I almost wonder, though, with the Belveth on your team, is the Baron not stronger? Wash, doing a smart thing, going over to that mid wave, going to threaten an inhibitor, or even more if AA come back. And AA, they've barely responded to this play at all. Rare Adam and Jaffe and Katarina are now walking to this play, and they will stop the inhibitor take, which is big.
Can PJ do this? There's a TP available from Jaffe. I think it just shouldn't, because that's a potential to give over Baron for sure. He's trying to play to pressure. There's some room for the engage, and Wash is here.
Erebus, Wednesday, and Pure Llama all walking towards the fight. PJ's getting it started. Erebus is now firing on Jaffe, and Red survives so long on that damage reduction, and a hostile takeover. Pizza takes him out. PJ Salt, though, doing massive on the back line, shutting down Jaffe, and now it's just Malzahar and Renata, and they've got to go.
That was amazing from Wash to try and make that play. They get the rotation. They know they can get there faster with the Lulu Shirelius, the movement speed from the Twitch. They jump on top of Well, they're just caught in that little pocket. They're able to blow up 3. And even though Jaffe, even more explosive with those barrels than PJ, and this is going to have to be Baron for Wash, that could be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, they're going to pick up that objective. It goes down so slow without the Twitch. Anivia able to get down the Glacial Storm, and that will chunk it a lot faster. PJ regular play helps as well, and there's no contest able to come through from the side of AA. Jinx is not going to be able to miracle steal another objective, and Wash, with their second Baron of the game, they're looking to make this one count.
And arguably, as far as the minion empowerment goes, you don't mind Twitch not having that. He's always going to have somebody with him. You can keep Aatrox in the side lane, who's been completely unmatched by Jaffe. Even though the laning phase was really Jaffe's show, Jaffe should have been further behind. There's the Ignite, and it's an Aatrox. Jaffe held on until we get to this late game, and all of a sudden, for some reason, Jaffe is getting half hit by one Aatrox auto. I don't know why, but that doesn't matter right now for Wash. They have the gold advantage. They've got the Baron buff on the table. There's only a couple towers sitting around. Mid inhib is open. They're going to play as a team. They're going to try and open up some of these turrets. If they get one pick, that's it, and maybe it's red.
Red's looking to get picked. It's pinned up into the wall. They are going to force out the Gangplank ultimate. It is going to get Red to safety, but that is a big cooldown already blown from the side of AAA, and that means Jaffe's got to get out of that side lane and book it over to the top lane.
And that is a win for Wash. That's all they want. You know, they're able to grab that. They're going to grab the 600 gold from this turret up in the top lane. They're going to continue to push in with this Baron buff. Pure Llama, the only TP is available right now in the mid lane. And there's that open inhibitor, so he can pressure that solo with the empowerment of the minions from this Baron. 4v5 right now in the top lane. They have to know Jaffe's in the wings. They don't see him on the bot lane. They don't see him mid. But now Pure Llama's going to be able to start to draw members.
Oh, Red pushed a little far forward. The Steadfast Presence does not come up in time to stop his escape. Jaffe trying to clear these minions. Pure Llama does a good job of it as well. And as the minion waves are crashing on mid and top lane, Wash are positioned to grab this mid inhibitor. Erebus is chunking it so fast, and Wash are just going to continue to do this back and forth play. Send a wave into the Nexus Towers, send a wave into top inhibitor. PJ Salt looking forward, though. Almost didn't have the dash in time. That was a little worrying.
Little spoopy there from PJ, but this is good from Wash. Last time they got into a position like this, they got a little bit too far ahead of themselves. This time they're playing patient. Oh, I say that.
They're going to pin Red to the wall. The spray and pray comes out, but Erebus forced to burn that QSS and back up. The Gangplank ult does come down, and both sides are going to retreat with no kills going over, and that is ultimately a win for AAA.
A huge win for AAA. That's Flash, Ghost, ult, and QSS off of the Twitch. That leaves him so vulnerable in this next team fight. Well played there from Katarina to see the overextend. And this is the thing, is they're going for these plays onto Red, but Red's really tanky. You can't afford to let Red dictate where your engages are going to be. So far, Red is the only person that you can't take it on, and it's costing Wash because they haven't identified that yet. They're still trying to make plays on this Bel'Veth. We're a minute away from Dragon. None of those Twitch summoners are going to be up. He's going to be so vulnerable. QSS might be able to make it on time. They have to change how they're trying to force these team fights because AAA cannot force an engage by any means. They can only play around the hostile takeover from the Renata. And so far, Wash has been giving them engages that they're happy with. And now those cooldowns have been burnt. We're going to see how it plays out to this Dragon. 45 seconds away. This will decide the game.
Erebus does not have Ghost, does not have Flash. The spray and pray is up. The QSS is close to up, but Lulu also on Mikhail's in inventory.
And again,
and here it goes! The spray and pray immediately deletes Rare Atom. No takeover is going to be hostiling today as AAA melt under the pressure of PJ and Erebus as they're going to run their victory lap straight into Jaffe, straight into MXL, and straight into game number 4.
The wall from Pure Llama takes the 2 Bane damage threats out of that fight. Jinx and Jaffe could never see damage in that fight. They're not going to see anything left of this game. It is just gray screens and a broken Nexus, and Wash takes the point back.
What a huge game from Wash to claw this series back from the depths of hell. It looked bad after game 2. Wash were on the brink of getting swept, and I think despite them being the same seed, I think it would have been a pretty